So you want to catch more speckled trout. We get it, especially this guy right here that loves them dang fish. We are at the brand new Oregon Inlet Oceans East tackle shop today with the man himself, Jimmy Hilsman. Of course, we've got the professor. In this video, we're going to talk about what are the magic lures you need to catch more speckled trout. All right, here we go. You know, what's cool about this is being here at the Oregon Inlet right now in this new location, which is so cool. There's a lot of people that speckle trout fish in these parts. I mean, how many people would you say, Jimmy, come through both your locations now? We've got, of course, the one at the causeway there near Manio, and then we've got this brand new location. How many people, if you had a guess, come through specifically looking to catch speckled trout and come buying speckled trout gear?
Oh my goodness, tens of thousands of people come through our shop every year looking to catch speckled trout. And then with the last several winters being very mild, the size class that we've seen the last couple of years, especially the ones I've been seeing this guy catch.
Professor's like, oh my.
Gosh, yeah, it's amazing size fish.
Are they bigger here? And you know this because you caught for years in the northern neck of Virginia.
Yeah.
You see the photos here. I'm not smart enough to know.
Well, even back in Virginia, I mean, all my friends are still fishing there, and they're catching like 8-pounders this year, which is, pretty not unheard of, but they're far and few in between in Virginia,
It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Must be the steroids and the chicken, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at some of these lures that, of course, you can come here to Oceans East and get. But Professor, you start us off. What's the first thing that's got to be on our list if we want a lure that's going to catch the specks?
Well, I mean, this is my go-to. It's a heavy dine made by MirrorLure in Mardi Gras color, and it's 18 NMR. That means that it sinks when, but this takes a little bit of skill to use.
This is the type of thing that totally it goes above me. If I came in here and looked and I see, okay, we got an 18 MR, and I'm guessing the MR is MirrorLure, right? Or no, what's the MR mean? I don't even know what it means.
I don't really know what the MR means.
But you know that this sinks.
I do.
And you want it to sink.
I want it to sink.
Okay.
Because a lot of your bites are reaction bites, and it happens on the fall. And that bait flutters on the fall, and they can't stand it. You put it in front of their face, they're going to hit it on the fall.
So it's on the fall is the key.
Yeah.
In the MirrorLure Mardi Gras, this is one of your main go-tos.
Yeah.
Main go-to.
Always have a rod on the boat with that on there.
Okay.
And this takes a little bit of skill to work. And I use a twitch, pause motion. Twitch, twitch, pause, twitch. Twitch, twitch,
like
pause.
Karate Kid, wax on, wax off with this guy.
But you can fish this in different depths of water. Like you can fish this all the way in 9 feet of water if you want.
Okay.
You just gotta let it sink. And I count Mississippi's. You cast, and if you're in 5 feet of water, you let it sink 4 Mississippi's, stays a foot off the bottom. Then you start your retrieve. You know what I mean? So it depends on your depth. Takes a little bit more skill, figure out. You just can't throw this overboard and reel on it and catch it.
I just learned something right there.
There you go.
So,
there you go. All right.
So,
we learn from Jimmy every single day. And now when it comes to the specs, y'all don't know this yet from the channel. And we're going to have a lot more videos in the future on speckled trout because now you're going to have the opportunity to fish for a lot more, just whether it's off days or you might do some charters here and there that are inshore for specs.
Yeah.
So let's keep going here, Professor. All right, so we've looked at the MirrorLure. Now we got?
So another one that takes a little skill to use, this Super Spook Junior, and it's a Topwater lure. Better for early morning, late evening bites. And it stays on the surface, and you use a technique called walking the dog. And you just get a rhythm, and the bait will go back and forth. It'll just twitch back and forth, and they can't stand it. This is good for like really shallow water, like 3 feet and under. I mean, you can fish 4 foot of water with this. They will come up and hit it when they're being super aggressive. But this is in the mornings when they're up on the flats, hunting, you know what I mean? They've been feeding. This has a rattle in it. It's deadly.
It's pronounced Hedon or Hidden or what do you think, Jimmy?
Hedon is what I've always called it.
You don't know.
not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure.
What is it about names in this industry that everybody makes it hard to pronounce it? Okay. All right. So we've got the MirrorLure and we've got the Hedon. All right. So where do you want to go next, Professor?
All right. So then my next go-to is what I just call soft plastic. And it is just a rubber-ish soft plastic bait that you would use in conjunction with a lead head.
Okay.
And this is more user-friendly to use because you can tie this right on, cast it, the tail paddles as you retrieve it.
Yeah.
And
Are we letting that sink, or are we doing an immediate retrieval?
you're letting it sink some,
Okay.
all depending on your depth of water. But this is going to sink a lot faster, depending on the size lead head you use. It's a fine combination of finding the right weight in the lead head to being able to cast it far enough and the depth of water that you're fishing. So most of the time, I don't use these unless I'm fishing like 3 feet of water or more, because it's impossible to keep it up off the bottom and out of the grass. You have to work it really fast, and a lot of times it's too fast for a fish to hit it. But like I say, you can just retrieve this, or you can do a twitch pause and add a little more action to it. And the more familiar you get with doing that twitch pause, the more bites you're going to get.
These saltwater asses, Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, but they seem very popular. Is that the case?
They are.
And when it comes to soft plastic, I mean, I know we're going to look at golf here in a second, and there's other brands. Is this the most popular brand that you would say?
It's definitely one of them. I mean, Z-Man, Gold. There's a couple of them out there, but that's one of my favorites. I mean, I don't do a whole lot like you guys do, but
Right.
And the price point is what I like.
Okay.
You know,
price is right,
you
too.
get 10 of them in here and they last. You can catch, 10 or so fish on them. As long as there's no bluefish around, because the bluefish will bite your tail right off. My favorite color in this one,
All right.
chicken on a chain. And they got some crazy names for these colors.
They do.
Yeah.
Chicken on a chain. And that is this that we're looking
Yeah,
at?
that's
Or-
that color right there.
So, all right, it's almost like a greenish, grayish, silverish. I don't even.
Really, the chartreuse tail is what makes a difference. With a red lid head.
Red lead head.
That's what I like.
That's what you like.
Pink works too, but
This guy.
I like the red.
All right, trust in the professor. That's what I always say. All right, then we got what here?
These are gulps. These are probably your most user-friendly, beginner type bait to use. In conjunction with a lead head, you just throw it, retrieve it. It's scented. The fish can't stand it. But they're very soft, and they don't catch. You can't catch a lot of fish on one rig.
Because it's going to go quick.
Yeah.
Damage to it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, thus, you're going to spend more money
you
using
are.
golf.
Yeah. And I would recommend starting out with these in conjunction with this.
Okay.
Learning how to cast, learning how to twitch, learning how to retrieve to keep it up off the bottom. And then once you start getting a lot of bites on these, you can move to this and start saving yourself some money. Because once you learn how to use this, and this, you can outfish what you catch on that.
Okay.
You see what I mean? You catch multiple fish on these to where you're going to be spending, I don't even know how much these are because I haven't bought them in years, but it's at least $9.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and they don't last. You might be able to catch 3 speckled trout on one, but if a bluefish is near, forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. This is fun, Professor. Man, we got our learning caps on today. I don't know about you, audience, but I know I got it.
So another good technique that I don't necessarily use myself, but is a popping cork. And a lot of guys use that technique here. And they'll either run a shrimp, an artificial shrimp, or a live shrimp off of a popping cork, or they'll use a super light lead head with a gulp off the popping cork.
So why would you use it? And forgive me for asking something dumb, or if you've already explained it. Why would I go cork if I could have done these other simpler techniques?
Well, a lot of times these work fantastic for drum. You have a hard time getting drum to bite some things.
Okay.
So you throw this popping cork out, and it's just not a cork that sits on the water. It actually pops. Once you cast it, you pop the rod tip, and it makes, I don't know, it's like a gulping sound.
Okay.
And it drives the drum crazy. They hear that sound, they come to it, and they'll see this, and they'll automatically eat it. Now, another thing I do a lot.
But Speck will do that.
Oh, yeah.
Speckled Trout will do that too.
They will, yeah. They
Okay.
will. Rockfish, anything, any kind of fish is attracted to that popping cork.
Okay.
But a lot of times what you can do is I'll throw one of these off the back of the boat, and I'm sitting up front trolling with my casting rod with my trolling motor going, and just cast along the bank, and I'll have one of these just hanging off the back of the boat.
Good.
You know what I mean? It gets cruising around, and all of a sudden,
Bam.
the rod back there just goes off. It's just another way. It's like a fish finder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just cruising along, you're looking, it automatically finds fish for you.
That's a good technique.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, Professor.
So,
And that particular one was made by, I got to say this name, Full Horseman Tackle. That's a good name right there.
so all of these are going to be pretty much baits as you would use in the warmer months. You know, not necessarily in the warmer months, but when the fish are pretty active. Now, a bait like this is made by Paul Brown. It's called a Fat Boy. It's a super slow. You have to work this super slow. And in the wintertime, when you're fishing up in the heads of these rivers where these fish are wintering, you want to use a bait like this because the fish aren't as active and they're slow moving, and you need a slower bait that doesn't react as fast. You know, like if you throw this in 2 feet of water and you wait 2 seconds, it's on the bottom.
Right.
This, you can throw this and it'll take, 10 seconds for it to hit the bottom.
Huge difference.
So you can slowly work this bait, and it's good wintertime bait.
All right.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
I did too.
Jimmy, you're picking it up right
I'm,
now.
I'm learning here too. So I'm just listening.
Yeah. So and you may or may not know this, Jimmy, but in terms of like the busiest seasons in the OBX for speckled trout, and when you really see the anglers come in for it, what's that season like?
I'll tell you, it used to be spring and fall, but in the last couple of years, I mean, it's starting to go into the summer and in the wintertime now that the guys have learned a couple of these baits where you can catch a lethargic fish in the wintertime.
Right.
I have guys that are fishing 12 months out of the year for trout around here now, which is neat because we've never had that before, especially too with like we were talking about earlier with the mild winters that we've stretched several mild winters in a row together, haven't had a big fish kill, and the class of fish is getting bigger. So it's fun. I mean, it's really becoming a big part of our business here, selling trout
It's a big
stuff.
part of the economy now.
big
Here in
time.
Outer Banks,
It really
speckled
is.
trout fishing.
And he's talking about a fish kill. Like for some of the people that might not understand the life cycle of a speckled trout, they'll winter up at the heads of these big rivers, and like some of them are called lakes around here, stuff like that. But if you get a super cold snap and it freezes, these fish will actually die because they get too cold. So what he's saying, when we have mild winters, that means that we don't have any cold water kills with the trout. So more of them are surviving. The mature adults are growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So when you have mild winters, the fish get really big.
The fish get big, and the fish get big when you use these lures that the professor taught us about today. Hopefully this is helpful to you, of course, and we appreciate Jimmy here for allowing us to visit his new location here at the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. So you make sure you come and join them. There's a snack bar and everything, and I'm hoping that we can do a video tour that you can see it all as well. It's a pretty amazing investment that they're doing here into this fishing center area. It's pretty exciting times, and I'm guessing there's probably some more plans on the horizon too, if I'm not wrong. I mean, you probably can't divulge, but I'm
We
guessing
do have
like
some
there's a
stuff in the
vision.
works. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So as always, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and until the next time, everyone, stay salty.